Nation, we are back. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is. We are back. I am one of your hosts for tonight's show, and I'm here with my brother, Big Mike Raider. What's good, bro?
What's up, man? Hey, I'm good, man. You know, it's game week. I'm hyped. We've been waiting for about 7 months for this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's time to talk some real ball.
We are here. Real quick, before we get into the show, let everybody know where they can follow you at, brother.
Man, you can find me at Big Mike Raider. You can look it up. First word, Big Mike is one word. Raider, the second one. It's the first thing that pops up. I promise you that one. I checked myself, so go ahead and do that. So whenever you get there, man, make sure you like the thumb, hit the sub, and share with your folks, man, and become a member of the Big Mike Raider fleet, man.
There you go.
Yo, these numbers have been flying, man. We're almost at 5K.
There we go.
We were at 4K on Saturday. And now we're at like 4,700, something like that. So it's moving at a crazy rate.
Running those numbers up over there. Get my brother to 5K before week 1, which is officially, 6 days away? We're right around the corner. So, and real quick, salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, we appreciate you guys so much for rocking with us. Get those likes up, wipe them feet, hit that subscribe button on both sides. Also, man, salute to everybody listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We appreciate you guys. The numbers have been crazy over there. It's insane to see how fast the audio side of things grows, man. So I appreciate everybody over there downloading and subscribing over there, and whatever platform, it doesn't matter, Spotify or Apple Podcast is definitely appreciated. There's a lot to talk about today, you guys. We're going to go over this showdown with the New England Patriots. I want Big Mike's take on this. Me and Hammer pretty much covered this whole thing yesterday, but I definitely want to get your opinion on a lot of, stuff going on in Sunday. There's a lot of different factors, with this. Former Raiders, former Patriots, Josh McDaniels, former head coach, now the OC out there. I definitely want to, pick your brain a little bit with this. But real quick, though, I want to throw this out there as well, man, because Andy got his guy, Big Mike. So the Raiders went out there and signed a former third-round pick of the Minnesota Vikings. This dude was stellar at the collegiate level at Oklahoma. I always butcher his name, but it's Brian Asamoah II. Dealt with some injuries up to this point, Big Mike, kind of undersized, but interesting pickup right now because our linebacking core is full. Like that room is crazy. Didn't we carry 6 or 7? We kept Lindenberg on the active roster. Yeah. So now you bring in another linebacker. You bring in Jeff Driscoll, the 32-year-old veteran quarterback, and add him to the practice squad. And I have to throw this out there, man. Salute to my bro, Trey. I hate to see it. He was let go off the practice squad. Trey Taylor, former 7th-round pick of our Raiders. Hit him up, talk to his family. They're just excited of what's next to come. Trey is definitely kind of going through the motions right now. He wasn't expecting this. So I just want to say, man, salute to Trey. Prayers going out to him and his family. And we have also cut Matt Jones, the UDFA, the linebacker, I believe, out of Baylor. So there's that. So any thoughts on these moves here?
Hey, one thing that I do know, and what I'm observing from Pete Carroll's regime, no job is safe. They named it 53, and how many times has it changed since he's named it 53? Like a few times. So, hey, be on your P's and Q's because your job's on the line if you're at that bottom of that roster. No job is safe, man. Even and a guy like Brian Asamoah or however you say it. Asamoah. Mm-hmm. This is a place where he can revive his career. He's only 25. Mm-hmm. Hasn't really gotten started yet, but we've seen some of his brilliance when he was with the University of Oklahoma. We all liked him. He was an Andy special. Yeah, I liked him too coming out. So man, maybe this is something that, you know, it may spark something down the line.
Andy hit him up right when he was cut from the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
And he said, come to the Raiders. And he hit like on it. The next day he was a Raider. And he erased the like because he was like, I don't want it to make it look like, I already knew what was going on. So it's actually funny. But this is definitely the Andy special. This could be the guy that could potentially add some value in coverage at the linebacker position as well. So, we kind of need that there because a lot of these guys are known for their coverage ability. So hopefully, he can come in and help out that group. We shall see. But once again, man, good luck, to our guy, Trey Taylor, and also Matt Jones on whatever it is they got moving forward. So also today, our Raiders, I'm going to bring this up on screen real quick. It's official, Big Mike. Like we have our depth chart good to go come Sunday. There was a few surprises here.
Yeah.
And we'll go over that here shortly. Let me bring this on screen. Let me start on the offensive side of the ball. Nothing really to change here. Dante, great. Colton, Dylan, Meredith, JPJ, Glaze, which is great. Starting five there on the O-line. Brock, of course. Jacoby. Amari is the backup to Jacoby there in the slot. Interesting. Once again, it's going to take a little time for Amari to get adjusted. He hasn't had an off season. He needs to figure out Chip Kelly's system. So, they're going to be patient with him. He's 31 years old, I believe, right? So they'll be a little patient with him, but he's still going to be a major piece with this offense moving forward. Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, backing him up, the rookie out of TCU, our second rounder. Gino, Kenny Pickett, those are your two guys. At the quarterback position. Running back, it is Ashton Genty, and it looks like Zamir White is going to be the number 2. I know they keep saying with Raheem Mostert, but it seems as though they're really high on Zamir White. So it looks like he'll be the 2, Raheem Mostert will be the 2B, and then Dylan will be that fourth, running back on the depth chart that's actually going to provide a ton in special teams for us. Now, this is where it gets interesting, Big Mike.
Yep.
Max, Tyree backing him up, and Tyree's going to be a rotational piece. He'll get a ton of reps. It's going to be like he's a starter without being a starter. He'll play interior, outside. Not too much worried about Tyree not being a starter because I can already hear it, Mike. Like a ton of people crying about him being a former top 10 pick and not being a starter. He'll play a ton this year. But Thomas Booker IV is going to start. If football started today, he would be starting over Jonah Lalu and JJ Pegues, which is great, right? We moved Jacorian Bennett. A lot of us were kind of pissed off that we moved off from him, but it seems as though it's worked out for both parties. Jacorian may be a starter, surprise starter out there in Philadelphia. You can stay healthy with that shoulder.
Wow. Yeah.
But Thomas Booker, man, what do you think about him starting right next to Adam Butler with Kuntz on the line?
I mean, we heard good things after the trade. We were kind of both cold on the trade. We thought that, Jacorian Bennett could be a starter for us, but we didn't do really too much of our research on Thomas Booker, and it shows that he went in there and competed. We just talked about how no job is safe here. We can also say that every job on that team is earned. It doesn't matter, from first, second string, everybody's earned it. There's no, because you're here, because you've done this in the past. No, everybody that's on that starting team is on that starting team because it's earned. So that says a lot about Thomas Booker.
Agreed. And nothing else really surprising outside of the cornerback group. We're looking right here with Malcolm Kuntz and Max on the edge. Jermaine Pratt will be the starter at the outside linebacker position with the Landon as the middle linebacker, which we all expected, with Devin White playing opposite of Jermaine Pratt. So Jamal Adams is not necessarily going to start, but he will play a ton. They're going to have certain packages where they got Jamal in there getting after the quarterback. So for those who are like complaining, because I've already seen some of it online, Jamal is going to play a ton, you guys. Do not worry about him being a starter. He'll play a lot for us at the linebacker position, and he's going to be a guy that I said, Big Mike, one of my hot takes was that he may be second or potentially third in sacks on this team this year because he hasn't had one, I believe, since 2020, but he's had like 9.5 in one season before. So if they just put him low, get him closer to the line of scrimmage, he is a missile getting after the quarterback. But we get here to the cornerback position. This is where things get a little tricky here, right? Darnay Holmes is starting in the slot. I'm not a big Darnay guy. I'm hoping that he pans out. Patrick Graham guy that coached him in New York with the Giants. It looks as though he won that slot spot. But there's going to be a ton of different looks. We'll see, Polamalu, Chin, Potentially Terrell Edmonds if he's elevated, playing in the nickel as well. But for right now, Darnay will be the starter. But Caillou Blue Kelly, Mike, he wins the starting job opposite of, takes Darian Porter's spot. Yeah. And a lot of people are complaining about this, right? Former 4th round pick, I believe, of Baltimore, Stanford guy, very smart, has a high IQ from the Vegas area. I'm not mad about this because Porter is definitely still in need of, needing to dive into that playbook and actually still get up to the, just understanding the cornerback position. So, I'm cool with this. I have no issue with this. It is very nerve-wracking because, he hasn't played a ton, this is still a very unknown commodity, per se with him. But how do you feel about Caillou Blue Kelly winning that spot opposite of Eric Stokes?
Hey, he earned it. For a second, we were talking about him and Greedy Vance kind of, competing for that final 53 spot. Yeah. But the last 2 weeks of camp, he was at a high level. He was playing at a high level. Mm-hmm. And one thing I will say about these corners, and since we're on the topic of corners, right? Are we going to be running similar to what we've seen under Pete Carroll in previous years with the Seattle Seahawks when he was running a lot of the cover 3? Yeah. That will protect your corners who are inexperienced, right? Mm-hmm. So that'll protect Caillou Blue Kelly just a little bit. Or if you do run some to what Patrick Graham was running, more of like man situations, then that's where I'll be a little bit worried about what's going on, especially this week since we got one of the elite wide receivers coming in Stephon Diggs. So it's going to be depending on what the situation is, what scenarios are, where you're placing your corners and things like that. That's when I'll be at ease of the situation. But congrats to Caillou Blue Kelly, man. Yeah,
definitely congrats. And I'm going to put it out there. I said a 4th round pick. I believe he's a 5th round pick.
I think it's 5th,
from Baltimore. But either way, still very, very young. Only 24 years old, gets an opportunity to play in front of his home crowd in Las Vegas. This is a great story to witness here with Stokes playing on the other boundary, which is not a shocker here. Pete is very high on him. They brought him in on a very inexpensive 1-year prove-it deal. So he has something to play for. But Porter and DCAM being the backups, I'm okay with that. And then nothing changes here at the free safety and strong spot. Palomau, Jeremy Chin, and they got Chris Smith and Tristan McCollum backing those guys up. And then right here, kick returner, punt returner, Trey Tucker for now is the leading candidate to be returning punts and kicks, but I think that will change. I think they'll have Dylan out there. Genty is the backup punt returner. There's been a ton of tape and ton of film out there on Twitter and Instagram of him returning kicks, but I think this is an emergency type situation. Yeah. I don't think they want to throw their number 6 draft pick running back out there to return kicks, but nothing to see here. AJ Cole, Carlson, Boba Moore. So what do you think as a whole with this depth chart going into week 1?
A lot of youth. A lot of youth, and I like to see it, right? And we were calling for another corner to come in, and I still kind of feel to an extent maybe we should still.
Definitely.
But what Pete Carroll is looking at, he's like, hey, I'm gonna coach. I'm coaching. Yeah, I'm gonna get these guys good to go and ready to rock when it's time to. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that, we're gonna see these guys get through the entire season. Yeah. Now, eventually, we might see Darian Porter down the line, coming in. Yeah. He's got to get the footwork right. He's got to, get in that playbook and things like that. But man, it's good to see the youth emerging from this.
It's a difference too to see Darian Porter, who's 6'4", compared to Caillou Blue, who's 6 foot. Actually win that job opposite of Stokes. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. But once again, this is going to be a good test against New England with Stephon Diggs and Kyle Williams and those young guys out there in New England in that wide receiving group. Once again, man, salute to everybody here in the building. Let's get these supers in real quick. But this is our official depth chart, you guys, going into week 1. Let me get that off the screen. Salute to Ace Accelerator. Gino will have the first 500 game. 500 passing, 500 rushing. Max and Kuntz will combine for 20 sacks by halftime.
That's in-depth analysis right there, man. I love it.
Accelerator. It doesn't get any better than that, my brother. And salute to my guy, Snake Fist Kempo Raider, man. My dog, I appreciate you as always, my brother. Greetings, Graf and Big Mike Raider. I'm looking forward to the game. My biggest question is setting the edge. In preseason, not so good. Our first 3 games against mobile quarterbacks. What do you think? I think right here, Snake Fist, and I'll be real quick. I'm gonna hand this over to Mike. A lot of vanilla in preseason. Not too much worried about it. Max is great against the run. He's always going to set the edge. Kuntz has definitely gotten better as years have progressed. That was my one knock on Malcolm Kuntz coming out of Buffalo was, can he play the run at the next level? And he's gotten better, especially in that 2023 year. He really started to set the edge and really started to show some promise against the run. So I'm not too much worried. I think Snowden is pretty good as well, setting the edge. And then we're going to see where Tyree is, but that's kind of his bread and butter up to this point is playing against the run. He hasn't gotten to the quarterback a ton. But Big Mike, what do you think about this?
I mean, just keep an eye out for that big nickel or even the strong safety, coming up into the box and setting that edge.
Adams as well. Yep.
Yeah. So, a lot of vanilla what we saw, like you said. So, Patrick Graham, Pete Carroll, they're going to mix it up. You're going to see a 4-3 look, a 3-4 look. You're going to see a 5-2 that looks like a 3-4. You're going to see a bunch of things on Sunday, and it's going to make you forget that, hey, they looked a little vanilla on in the preseason.
Yeah, agree. Snake Fist, no worries, brother. And I know we do definitely have some guys that can use their legs. Herbert, Drake May is definitely very underrated in terms of using his legs. He's definitely a mobile guy. And then we know Jaden Daniels is just different come week 3. So we better be prepared very much so on the road, Big Mike, against Jaden Daniels and company. Coming off an NFC Championship appearance, those guys are definitely going to be ready. I wanted to bring this up real quick because salute to my guy over on Twitter. I want to bring this up, and I told him I would shout him out. I know a lot of people are worried about us, going on the road. Historically, we've been pretty bad going out east, and playing these games. It's an early game, 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. But salute to Newsroom Raiders on Twitter. He put this out there. Pete Carroll has never lost a game in a debut as a coach. So as a debut with the Patriots, won. Beat the Chargers 41-7. New York Jets, 23-3 road victory over the Buffalo Bills. And then also in Seattle, he ended up winning 20-18 victory over the Tennessee Titans at Quest Field at the time out there in Tennessee. So kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Like, look, we're trying to go 4-0 right here. Big Mike. Pete has historically won, these first games with his teams. What do you think about that stat right there? And salute once again to Newsroom Raiders on Twitter.
Yeah, man. Salute to him, man. Hey, we heard in the preseason that he was already preparing for this Patriots game.
Yeah.
They were already preparing. He's well ahead of what's going on. He's 2-3 steps ahead. I think that's the gift of Pete Carroll. He's going to be prepared. Yes. He's going to have his teams competing, and it doesn't matter where they play. They can play on Mars. They're still going to get the job done. So, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I got us winning this game. I'm not going to jump the gun, but I think we'll win this game. So
I do too. Give me some. Me and Hammer threw out 5 names apiece yesterday. And real quick, salute to the My Fathers. I see you guys. My brother LV, Hug, CGR, all the guys. Salute to you guys. They got the guns all safe. You guys don't say anything crazy in the chat. You will definitely get your brains blown out. Salute to the guys over there. But give us some X factors, man, and give us some keys to victory going into New England on the road in a hostile environment as well.
So, we were one thing that sticks out to me is the evolution of Josh McDaniels, right? A lot of people are like, okay, we've seen Josh McDaniels, and it's going to piss you off, right? Because he's going to show something completely different than what he showed with the Raiders. Now, there's some evidence out there, right? When he had Cam Newton for a cup of coffee, hey, he ran a lot of that RPO. Things like that. He was very diverse with his play calling. He ran a lot of crossing routes, high-low situations where you have somebody running that drag route, and then you have another guy up top in between that linebacker and safety. Kind
of fun offense to watch too, Big Mike. I got to be honest. I hate the Patriots, but you're on to something here with that little bit of time with Cam out there. But go ahead.
I mean, he was a monster in the goal line. And I'm not saying that Drake May is going to be like some running threat or anything like that, but he has the ability to break one in certain situations, right? He has the mobility issue. I mean, the mobility, he can run the ball. So, back to the question, X factors, we got to stop the run. That's the first thing because, Josh McDaniels wants to, he wants to start with the play action. You know, establish the run first. He's a power running type of dude. He's going to have those offensive linemen going downfield and knocking people over into that second level. So that tells me it's an Landon Roberts special, whether it's in coverage or whether it's stopping the run. I think the keys to this game is our linebacker play. The linebacker play has to be there, number one. I'm not worried about our front four stopping the run. I think we'll do well in that. But play action is what's going to bite us. That's what I think. And I think it's going to be the linebackers really having to show out and make some plays, and our safety play too, because of finding them windows in between linebackers and safeties. That's the key. Stopping the play action and really closing the gaps.
Don't let Henderson get involved in the passing game as well. Like, keep an eye on the flat. Henderson is an elusive running back. He is great running the football, but he's also great in the passing game. He is a dude, if he gets the football in his hands and you give him any kind of space, it's going to be very, very difficult to bring him down. And I think Chip Kelly knows that very well, coming off of a national championship with him as his lead back out there in Ohio.
And you know what, man? If we're going to be running a cover three, we might want to be a little bit more versatile than that, because if you know anything about the cover three, you are susceptible to those swing routes, those short passes and things like that. So, you know, I hope they're showing 3 on one side, 2 on another, kind of a cloud cover 6 situation, you know, man coverage from time to time strategically, because we don't want to be in man all the time, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
So it really, play calling is also going to be the X factor. Is Patrick Graham, what is he going to do? What kind of defense are we looking at this year? It can't be the same stuff we seen last year. So, or if he does bring the same stuff we saw last year, we're gonna be in trouble.
Unless Pete can fill in the gaps, you know, in terms of those weaknesses, like, once again, allowing the middle of the field to be open week in and week out, allowing those tight ends and running backs to eat up the middle of the football field. You know, I'm hoping that Pete can clean up that, you know, that mess that Patrick Graham has had the past few seasons as the DC with the Raiders. But I love that. Stop the run, the linebackers. I love that you said that we need them to play really well to beat this team. What else do you have? Is that it defensively? Is there some more you got offensively?
So offensively, of course, man, it's establishing the run. Now, you know, they have a much improved defense. Those corners are they're formidable, you know, but we can get them in the run game. So establish the run, which turns into play action, get the 12 personnel rolling, you know, and get our tight ends involved. That's what I want to see. That's the key to the game for me.
I love it. And once again, we're still kind of waiting to see. It sounds like Stephon Diggs will be starting. I believe Vrabel said that it looks like he will be out there. He's questionable. They're trying to be patient with him. Once again, the veteran coming off of a nasty injury, but he's been looking really good. From some of the stuff that I've been seeing, he looks like he's back in that rare form of, I'm talking about Buffalo days, Minnesota. Like, Diggs looks really good. But one thing, you know, that I wanted to, I'm looking at this wide receiving core, and they're really young. Like, they're really young outside of Diggs, like Demario Douglas, you know, 5'8", speedster. You know, they got, you know, a few of those other guys. Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, that duo at the tight end position, I'm not too much worried about, honestly. Their offensive line is very interesting to me. This can be, they had one of the worst O-lines in football last year, Big Mike, but they go out and get Will Campbell, you know, the stud left tackle out of LSU. I myself and a lot of other people thought that he was going to transition to the guard spot. They kept him at left tackle. I've been hearing great things with him there at left tackle. But how do you think our defensive line fares against this new look offensive line out there in New England? They got Will Campbell at left tackle, Jarrett Wilson at left guard. They got Garrett Bradbury at center, Mike Amanwu at right guard, and then they got Morgan Moses, the veteran, over at right tackle. Do you think this is going to take a little time for them to get that thing rolling? Because that O-line was bad last year. Like, they had to invest a lot of draft capital and a lot of money, you know, to build that up to help protect Drake May. Do you think that defensive line of ours can put these guys on notice?
Yeah, absolutely. You see it from time to time. Well, you see it all the time. The defense is always ahead of the game of the offense at the beginning, right? I think we got the Patriots at the right time. You know, one thing that we can say about a Josh McDaniels offense, it's like it's like trying to play do calculus.
Yes.
Do you think second year Drake May is ready, you know, week one?
Process everything that it takes to get that done. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
One thing that they do have is that they're running a power blocking scheme, and that's instinctual. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty much simple assignments right there. So you don't have to think too much. But if you don't stop the run, then now we put it in the hands of Drake May to make those plays and process and things like that. And I like our chances against them.
I do too. Something to monitor, you guys. Also, keep an eye. Still, we talked about this yesterday. There's no update yet with Christian Gonzalez. He's dealing with a hamstring issue. He has not been practicing. There's no real timetable for his return yet. So if they do not have him, Geno needs to go out there and expose these DBs, Mike. Like real talk, Christian Gonzalez is a stud. He's one of the better young corners in football when healthy. But without him, you look at that group and I'm not too much afraid of, some of these guys. I'm just not. I mean, I'm looking at Marcus Jones. Christian Gonzalez is probably going to be out. They got Charles Woods. I'm not really Craig Woodson, a guy that I like a lot out of Cal, DJ James. But this is a secondary that if Christian Gonzalez is not out there, you definitely want to run the football a ton. But you need to have Geno go out there and expose these guys. Honestly, without Christian Gonzalez, I'm not afraid of these DBs at all.
Yeah, me too. You also don't want to also force the issue, right? Running the ball is our bread and butter.
Yes.
I really think that's how we're gonna get moving forward, how we're gonna move forward this season.
Agreed.
So establish the run, keep establishing that run. But hey, with these corners, you can take some chances.
Yep.
You can take some chances.
Agreed. Salute to Hug, man. As a longtime football fan, I'm excited to see a defense Pete has had his hands in. USC and Seattle both had defenses that put their hats on the ball and laid that mother effing wood. I want that for us bad. Salute to my dog, Hug.
Yep.
This is facts, brother. And I think that a collaborative effort between him and Patrick Graham can be a very, very interesting and very intriguing defense. I know a lot of people, including us, are kind of worried about that defense outside of Max and, a few of those aging linebackers, Jamal Adams and Landon Roberts. This is a very, very, we're waiting to kind of see, so wait and see approach with this defense. What are we going to put out there? So, once again, I trust Pete and, I'm expecting if Stokes can stay healthy, that Pete can unlock that full potential that he had coming out of Georgia as that first round guy that went to Green Bay. But, I'm really hoping that Terrell Edmonds gets elevated as well, Mike. What is the rule? I think they can bring him up 5 times before they have to put him on an active roster.
Yeah,
like that.
I think it's 5. Yeah.
So,
this is my biggest fear. One matchup that I'm really looking at is if they set up a matchup with Darnay Holmes and Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins is a streak master,
The
so
barefoot bandit.
Yeah. If they get him free, he's good for at least one good catch going vertical.
Oh, yeah.
One thing he can do is run the vertical route. So
he did it with Miami that game when we lost. Remember that big catch on the boundary that put us out of our misery.
Yeah. And he did it with us when he was with us.
Yeah.
He had a couple of big catches, vertical. So that's one matchup I'm a little worried about. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay. Salute to Q, man. Make sure we don't leave the middle of the field open for the tight ends. Those are going to be the easy throws McDummy wants. You know what's funny, Q, man? These first couple weeks, I'm not too much worried about. I'm not afraid of Hunter Henry. I'm not afraid of Austin Hooper, former Raider. You go with the Chargers. I'm not afraid of that tight end group. The Commanders still have what's his name, right? That came over from Philadelphia, the veteran. What's his name? Either way, the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Until week 4, that's when you get that they're going to run a lot of 12 out there with Chicago. They have that 2-headed monster at the tight end position. But I'm not too much worried about these tight ends, but they should be able. It's Zach Ertz. That's exactly who I was talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
But I'm not too much worried about the tight end position. If they can't stop these guys, Mike, then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
I told you my biggest fears is Mac Hollins vertical, and then that speedster and like a drag route for some yak after that.
Yeah,
going across the middle. Yeah, that worries me too. That worries me. Those are the 2.
Give me some. I know you mentioned some keys to victory. Give me some guys that you're expecting to have a big game come Sunday? And you can give even a few New England guys. If you think that one of those guys over there exposed one of our guys, just be honest here. You can go both sides. How do you feel, man, about some potential game breakers come Sunday?
If they do get the passing game going, I think it's going to be a Demario Douglas game. He's 5'8", real speedy, you know, going across the middle like that, especially if you're running some cover 3, that might be open. You know, that's one that I'm looking at could have over 60 yards in this game, something like that.
I can live with that. I can live with that. Just nothing over 100.
No, I don't think anybody's going to go over 100 in this game, you know, unless you do get a healthy Diggs, you know. But I can live with that. I can live with him getting 100. I can't live with a supporting piece getting 100 because that's a big problem.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then as far as the offense goes for us, I'm just expecting Genty to do his thing, man. I'm expecting at least 80 yards in this game, a touchdown. So
I like that. I like that. What's your expectations with Brock?
He's going to get his catches. I think about 5 catches. I can see him getting about 60 to 70 yards, maybe get 1 touchdown on the board. I don't think he's going to have like a monster game like that. I think they're going to try to establish.
They're going to bracket the hell out of him.
Yeah, they're gonna dare you to throw it to everybody else, and Geno Smith can simply get it done. But I think that it's going to be a 5-catch game for Brock Bowers. I don't think he's going to come out the gate swinging like that. He will eventually, but it's Ashton Genty show, man.
I love it. Salute to Gator. Don't play that. One of the greatest names in YouTube history. Been a member of Raider Nation since 72, and I'm calling it today, 9225, that we're going 12-5 this year. And don't sleep on USC this year. Sneaky good. That's music to Big Mike's ears right there with the whole USC stuff. So salute to my guy, man. Gator. Appreciate you, brother. 12-5 will be phenomenal. We would definitely be what do they say? Out cooking our coverage. So Salute to Hug. Can I get the what the fuck from my Hug? You were cheating, bro. I don't know what league you're in, bro, but like you must be playing with a bunch of guys that don't know ball. Did he send you his roster of what he had on his team? I'm gonna try and pull it up before the show was up. This is just nasty work. Hug went into a fantasy football league and just finessed the hell out of everybody. If there's money involved, Hug, just count your shillings now, brother.
Right.
You got your coins on the way. Salute to my guy, Hug, in the building. Appreciate you, bro. Give me a potential game break on the defensive side of the ball. I think Max is going to have a big game.
Max is in for an all-pro season. He's got something to prove. He's going to be the focus of this team. He's going to be, the catalyst. He's going to get this thing started.
Yeah.
I can see Max with maybe 2 sacks, 8 tackles, like
love it.
A few for loss. Like, I mean, that's the expectation, So it's easy to say Max. One guy that I'm looking at, the resurgence of Jamal Adams. We're going to see a resurgence, especially with stopping the run. I think that he's hell-bent in stopping the run. They're going to put him in certain situations. I think he's going to have a pretty good game.
Keep an eye on, I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. Keep an eye on Jeremy Chin. He is going to be the enforcer on the back end of that defense.
Yep.
He's going to be all over the place. He'll get that big nickel look here and there. He's going to come down and help in the run game, and he's also going to potentially get after the quarterback a few times as well. I know they're going to dial up some different looks and get Jeremy Chin after Drake May. So keep an eye on him. I'm expecting him to have a big game, and I'm hoping that Thomas Booker just shuts us the hell up, Big Mike, this weekend.
Yeah, man, me too.
Wouldn't it be great, bro, to move Jacorian Bennett and you get your new Christian Wilkins of the future? Like, wouldn't that be great?
Cheaper.
For cheaper, right? And remember, you guys, Lane Johnson did say that this guy could be a Pro Bowler in the next few years in the right coaching, if he has the right coaching around him, and he definitely has the right staff around him with Rob Leonard, Graham, and Pete Carroll. So I'm excited to see what Book can do this Sunday as well, man. Salute to 2-4, my dog. It's always good to see one of the other my fathers in the building, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother, I appreciate you. Salute to all the new members here in the building because of my guy 2-4. If you guys want to become members, we both have our respective memberships. Hit the links. They're pinned up top. Once again, you guys, it keeps the lights on over here at ShieldMore. It definitely helps us, move and shake and keep doing this at a high level the way we do it, staying active consistently every single day. So those members, they help. So 2-4, I appreciate you, my brother. You guys get a few questions in. real quick as well. We're not going anywhere. We're only at the half-hour mark, but make sure you guys get some questions in. We definitely want to get you guys involved with what's going on as well. Big Mike, I want to show you this as well. This was something that someone sent me this morning. I forgot who it was, so my apologies. I don't want to, shit on anybody and nothing like that, but this is something that came from this Instagram. And I'm going to actually have the whole AFC West preview tomorrow because we're doing the AFC West show. So we'll break down the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders. But I want your take on this. This is coming from Pro Football Impacts. Okay. Let me get rid of a few of these windows real quick. Once again, man, salute to everybody here in the building as always. So the quarterback position, they have us ranked right there in the middle at 15 with Geno and Kenny Pickett. You know what's funny, man? I can't be upset about that. Honestly, a middle of the pack guy with Geno Smith, I think he should be a little ranked higher, but once again, it's a combo with Kenny Pickett there as well. What do you think about the quarterback position being ranked right there dead in the middle of the NFL at 15?
I'm okay with it. I mean, I can make your argument like that we're fringe top 12. You know what I mean? But that's splitting hairs. I'm okay with that.
Yep, I agree. The running back position, which is really good because we went from one of the worst rushing attack in football last year. You go draft Ashton Genty, and now we're 10th right now in the NFL. Once again, according to Pro Football Impact, with Genty, Raheem Mostert coming, 2 years ago, coming off of a major year in Miami, over 1,000 yards rushing and over 20 touchdowns. I think he led the league in touchdowns that year. And then Zamir White, Dylan Laube, 10th. How do you feel about that right now? With an unknown, once again, Genty has not played it down yet, but it's clear that he's made his impact if we're 10th in the NFL right now.
High expectations for Genty, man. You're the top 10, core in the league already. You're a rookie. That just shows you that youth reigns supreme in this league. And Zamir White, are we going to get the same 2023 Zamir White when he was wearing number 35?
I'm hoping so. Pace, I got you. I'll bring that up in 1 second, brother. But go ahead, my
that's what I'm hoping for. I think that's what Pro Football Impact is probably projecting as well.
I love it. And real quick, I think that they're smoking dick and dynamite here at the wide receiver position. They have us at the bottom of the league at 27. It's only 4 or 5 teams that are worse, to these guys. Pro Football Impact. Once again, I don't know who the hell these guys are, but I thought this was interesting and I wanted to talk about it. 27th with Jacoby coming off his first 1,000-yard receiving year. Amari Cooper, 7 times over 1,000 yards, 5-time Pro Bowl guy. Trey Tucker, who's in for a big year with Geno being able to throw the deep ball consistently. Dante Thornton, who's been like a darling in the media this offseason. A lot of people are expecting big things from him, including myself. Jack Besh, we invested a high draft pick into him in the second round. This is kind of disgusting to me. They got Jacoby 35th, Amari 64th. I know he had a down season last year, but how do you feel about this ranking here at 27th?
It almost seems like they go from position to position. They're like, ain't no way this team is that good. We gotta, we gotta drop them down a little bit, and that's the example, right? Yeah. I don't know why Jacoby Myers just gets no respect. I saw something. They were talking about some covering the Patriots. Some reporters, they were saying, "Oh, the Raiders don't have anybody outside of Brock Bowers. You have to worry about at the wide receiver position." Mm-hmm. I'm like, you guys clearly haven't done your research. You haven't been paying no attention.
Yep.
And then not even talking about Amari Cooper as well. He was injured for 1 year.
Yeah,
he got injured one time, and now he can't play ball no more. It's crazy how that works. We got 2 solid rookies that are going to be on the up and coming. I just don't see it. And then Trey Tucker, nobody's talking about him at all either. So
let me get on my shit real quick, Mike. I want to say this real fast, man. And salute to the chat once again. I'm gonna get my bag here for a second.
Yep.
I hate national media when it comes to our team. Yeah. Motherfuckers didn't even understand how good Jacoby was until he requested a fucking trade, Mike.
Yeah.
Now you start to hear, oh my God, he deserves better than this. Y'all motherfuckers were not talking about Jacoby Myers before he requested a goddamn trade. Let's stop with the bullshit here. And once again, we know how good Jacoby is. We know this. We're not acting as though he's like that clear-cut wide receiver one. We know what Jacoby can do, though. He's really good at everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, he may not be great at everything, but he's really, really good. Great route. Well, you know what? I can say he's a great blocker, great route runner. You know what? He's great at a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But very, very underrated. Y'all need to stop acting like you know what the fuck is going on. Waiting until a trade request to start acting as though this dude is this number one guy that deserves 30 million plus a season. I hate that shit, bro. I hate it.
You know, they wait. The national media waits for the Raiders to be dysfunctional, right? That's really what it is. We haven't had any real dysfunction all season. And, now you got Jacoby Myers requesting a trade when they were just completely didn't even consider him to be really talk about like, the Raiders have no receivers. But now all of a sudden he's some receiver that should be getting 30 million a year. Like, you got to choose a battle here. Yeah. You got to choose one. It doesn't make any sense.
Just nasty work. If you don't know about the team, y'all, do your homework or leave it the fuck alone. Simple and plain, man. Real quick, let me get this super in real fast before we finish this up on the offensive side of the ball. Pace says, how are we feeling about Caillou? Was he actually like that in college? He was a really good football player at Stanford. Yeah. And it's crazy how Jacorian had lost his starting job and Book wasn't starting with the Eagles, but now they both are. Hey, man, look, one thing about Jacorian was he was a starter for us last year. So, and Book wasn't, but that was a very deep rotation out there in Philadelphia on the defensive line. So it's very difficult for him to find his spot there. But I'm excited for both those guys. And I'm going to keep a close eye on Jacorian as well. I'm a huge fan of him. So hopefully he plays really well out there in Philly. I hope the only week he sucks is against us, late in December when we faced him. So, but look, I thought the Caillou was a really good football player, and I thought that he went to the right situation in Baltimore. So for him to not make it out there, which, they've always had some really good corners in Baltimore. So maybe this could be a Thomas Booker type situation where it's just, they had so much talent on that side of the ball at the time that maybe he just couldn't make it out there. But look, we know when it comes to sports, when you get to certain places, sometimes certain things just get unlocked with certain players. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And Caillou is at home, you guys. It means the most to him because he's in Vegas, where he was born and raised. I believe he went to Bishop Gorman High School. You know what I mean? So it means a ton to him. So, he got some new energy around him. If Pete believes in him, I'll believe in him until he shows me a reason not to believe in him.
Yeah. And what we don't talk about is player empowerment. That's what Pete Carroll has kind of, buttered his bread with. Mm-hmm. And some players just thrive off of that type of deal. So this is to me, if he didn't make it in Baltimore, maybe because it just wasn't the type of fit for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, man. Real quick. Once again, this is another smoking dick and dynamite type situation here. Fourth at the tight end position in the NFL, according to Pro Football Impact. Brock Bowers is the best tight end in football. Michael Mayer is going to be unlocked this year with Chip Kelly. He loves him some Michael Mayer. He has put him on a pedestal all offseason, speaking about him. I'm excited to see what Mayer can do, our former second-round pick that we actually moved up for, Big Mike in that draft class coming out of Notre Dame. And then Ian Thomas, the veteran that we all assume was just kind of going to be like that blocking veteran tight end, but he shows some things at training camp and in preseason. I love this trio here. I don't know three other teams, maybe Buffalo. I know they got Dawson Knox and they got Dalton Kincaid. Maybe they got Baltimore with Andrews and Likely. So those two. What is the other team that that you can have better? That I don't know.
I mean, I don't know who the 49ers got besides Kittle, but maybe you throw 40. I don't know, man. But I would say this team is second. Only because what Baltimore has with Andrews and Isaiah Likely. Yeah. That's an elite duo right there. Whoever the third one is, it really doesn't matter. Those two are elite. So I would say at least second.
Yeah, I agree. I'm personally, I think right now it's going to take Mayer to improve and actually be on the football field for us to get to that number one spot.
Yeah.
Brock's not going to be able to do it all on his own. So if Mayer has a good year, let's just say has a decent year, I think we should be placed in that 1 or 2 spot because Andrews is starting to show a few chinks in his armor out there in Baltimore, and Likely seems like he's going to be the guy to likely, no pun intended, take over as that number one tight end at some spot because there was a lot of rumors about them trading Mark Andrews, and then they ended up keeping him. So I know they were really down on him in Baltimore. That drop in the back of the end zone against Buffalo in the playoffs, stung a bit. But look, we're definitely at some point, if Mayer can show up and show out like we know we can, we could be the number one tight end duo or group in football. Salute to MTV Junior. Same thing with Jacorian Bennett and the media. Facts. Facts plus tax. Goes out to Philadelphia, and now he's the guy. I've seen a ton of coverage on him now of the Raiders got played, and once again, Raiders doing Raider shit, and no. I've seen it all, and it looks as though Thomas Booker is well on his way to show and prove, why this trade made sense for both teams. So I'm excited about it. Salute to my guy Raider 96 on a 5-hour special. Let's keep this train rolling, you guys. OTs, the tackles, 17th, kind of right there in the middle of the pack. Colton, DJ Glaze, Charles Grant, Stone Forsythe, who was absolutely terrible. We're probably at 17 because of Stone Forsythe, bro. It just is what it is. But I'm not upset about this. Colton has been really, really, really good, his entire career. But once again, no All Pros, no Pro Bowls. DJ Glaze in year 2 looked really good at right tackle for us last year as a rookie out of Maryland. Charles Grant, a developmental talent out of William and Mary, and then Stone Forsythe sucks. So 17th, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, it's standard. Right in the middle, not too bad, not the greatest. This season will tell where we stand next year. We already know we're going to get with Colton Miller. DJ Glaze, this might be one of those years for him where he breaks out, and then now we're looking at a top 10 offensive tackle room. Yeah. So, it's fine. I'm cool with it for now.
Show Deuce. Okay, so yes, they do have Pat. They did go get Jonu, and they have Darnell Washington, the young kid out of Georgia who's a physical specimen. So maybe Pittsburgh is one of those teams that they had in front of us. That's an interesting team right there. Salute to Show Deuce 92. Appreciate you, brother. Salute to our brother Wasted in the building as well. Always good to see my guy. For those who are not in the know right now, Wasted has a show set up for the night, going over some fantasy stuff like that. It's a late night show. Make sure you guys tune into our brother Wasted. He's definitely going to be doing some fantasy stuff. Then he has Sanjit on his show tomorrow to break this game down as well. And then we moved our show to Friday, you guys. So the Graph and Wasted and the Graph show will be Friday night. So stay tuned for that. Salute to my brother Wasted once again. And it looks as though somebody put it in the chat. Let me see. Is he out officially? I don't know. I didn't see anything in terms of Christian Gonzalez. But if he's out, that's great.
Feast. Throw it down the field.
Throw it down the football field. Let's get to the guard spot here. This is interesting, man. They got us at 8, top 10, especially coming off of a nasty year that Alice Kappa had. Caleb Rogers, unproven, rookie out of Texas Tech. JPJ, they have him as the 23rd ranked guard in football as a whole. And then they have Dylan Parham, who's looked really good this offseason and in preseason. 8th. How do you feel about that, man? This is a great problem to have because that's the one spot, Mike, that we've all been worried about a ton was the guard spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pete Carroll may have been on to something. Yeah. Maybe JPJ is better at guard than at center. Okay. As many people would debate that, but I think, he's
talk this shit, Mike. Talk.
Hey, I would say JPJ is a downhill mauler. He's not ready to kind of be that brains first. Not saying that he can't do it. Yeah. But right now at this point in his career, he's a downfield mauler. And that's what you want at the guard position. He's leading the way. And then, we kind of slept a little bit on Dylan Parham. Kind of already had him out of the door after this season. Yeah. I think it'd be smart to keep him after the season. I don't know how much it'll cost, but that's something you got to consider for continuity.
It wasn't a ton of money. The market value wasn't insane. But once again, that guard position, it goes up and down, right? Like we see Robert Hunt go to Carolina and get monster money, but he definitely deserved it. He's one of the only Pro Bowlers out there in Carolina last year. So, but it's not a ton. The market value wasn't insane for Dylan Parham. And it looks like he's a fit in Brendan Carroll and Chip Kelly and Joe Philbin's system, what they're trying to do. So, once again, you guys, it's all about putting a player, in the right system and playing them to his strengths. And it sounds like they're really high on Dylan Parham. I mean, they have him ranked over JPJ at the guard spot. So, that says a lot right there. The center position, which is interesting as well, Meredith has never played center at the NFL level. You got Will Putnam, the UDFA out of Clemson. Those are the two lone centers. I don't know if they're maybe thinking because of JPJ being on the roster and Dylan Parham, maybe this is the thought process. I'm not going to act like these guys are that smart, though, because I don't think that they're really in the know about our Raiders. But I can agree with the 12th if they have JPJ and Parham potentially there. But this is very unknown. I mean, honestly, we're hoping Meredith pans out. Putnam has not played a down for us at the center spot. I would have this group at the bottom of the league because, once again, it's just an unknown.
People just unknown. 12 is high.
Yeah.
12 is definitely because I mean, where are the measurements? Now, if you're measuring based off of PFF grades from Meredith at the guard position, the dude put in work last year. You know, Meredith did his thing, but we never really saw him at the center position. So, you know, I don't know if they're going off of just preparation and his IQ, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the measurements are for that, but 12 is a little high.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's get to the defensive side of the ball real quick. The DTs, man, bottom of the league, 32nd. Jonah Lalu, once again, unproven. Adam Butler, who's been a blessing in disguise for us at the defensive tackle position. JJ Pegues, a rookie. You know, Lecky Fotu, the veteran who's bounced around the league a little bit, kind of a journeyman at this point, and has dealt with some injuries. You know, he was in a boot for a while, and he's going to be a guy that they want to use as a run stuffer on that defensive line. Then you got Thomas Booker, once again, another guy who's unknown. I have to be real here. I understand this. You lose Wilkins, and now there's just a bunch of unknown names. Adam Butler alone, though, and then you got to put Tyree potentially in the mix here at the defensive tackle position as well. I'd have us a little higher on this list than 32, but how do you feel about that?
It's kind of just you assemble some names that you didn't know, and because of that, they're last, right? And throwing in Christian Wilkins, losing that star player. People are really like set in just anointing guys who have star names, and then if you lose that guy, now you just suck. Like I think that we're going to be better than 32nd. I don't think we have the worst interior defensive line in the league. I just don't. I don't believe that now.
And Max and Kuntz are going to help these guys out a ton as well, Mike. So you have to take that into account, right?
Right. Yeah. And it's all about rotation this year, I think everybody just playing hard and, you know, being able to kind of replace and keep it at 100% in that position. I think that's what's going to really matter. Now, you know, Booker might emerge, you know, that might be a thing. But I will say this. Next year, we are going to be looking for a D tackle. I think next year is going to be that's priority number 1 or 2 if you want to
corner and a DT for sure.
Yeah.
The edge position 12th. I'm not mad about this. You got Max alone. He's going to put you there pretty much at the top of the league. But once again, Kuntz coming off that nasty injury. Can he replicate what he did in 2023? This is very questionable. It's to be determined at this point. Tyree has not done a lot. Charles Snowden has been a backup practice squad player really up to this point. And then you got Tonka Hemingway, the young rook out of South Carolina, which I'm not upset about this. I mean, I think we could be a little higher on the list because of Max's presence alone. But, you know, I'm not mad about 12. I probably have us somewhere in that 8 to 10 range, honestly. But I have no issue with them having us there at 12.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's Max Crosby show. Besides that, is everybody's just, you know, Malcolm Kuntz you're hoping for you know, a breakout season. But, you know, I'm a little worried about that, to be honest with you. But 12 is fine. I'm cool with it.
I agree. Linebackers, which is interesting, man. You know, we got a bunch of, you know, veterans on this roster, a bunch of, you know, a lot to prove. Devin White, ton to prove. Jermaine Pratt, a ton to prove. I mean, Cincinnati let him go. I know he was looking for a new deal, but we picked him up off the streets. Landon Roberts, who's one of the better linebackers in football against the run. You know, but we got him on a 1-year, $3 million deal or something like that. And then Tommy Eichenberg, who's unproven, you know, 2nd year out of Ohio State. I can't be mad at this. I mean, 24 is pretty low, though. But honestly, I'm assuming maybe because we don't really have that cover linebacker in that group, that maybe they kind of put us a little lower on this list. But how do you feel about 24?
I mean, it's a bunch of guys trying to prove that they still got it.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. And, you know, most people, they look at that kind of situation, they're like, well, not everybody's got it. You know what I mean? Maybe 1 or 2 might emerge from that, but not everybody's going to break out that way. And that's you're just playing the percentages at that. So 24 is cool. You know, this will be the linebacking group that we look at 2, 3, 4 years from now if they're successful. Man, that was a fun group to watch.
I agree. That's the best way to actually. I agree with you. And yes, Bosco. They did not mention Brennan Jackson. Also, he was not on this list, and they had Jamal Adams at corner. So this says a lot about whoever the hell these guys are, because Jamal Adams should be there at the linebacker position. So I don't know why they have him at corner.
20 at least.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I'm not upset about them having us at the bottom of the league at the cornerback position. I'm not, because they need to go out there and prove, that they can play at a high level. Darian Porter, once again, is a rookie, new to the position. Eric Stokes, who has been – durability has been a problem with him. Outside of his rookie year, he has been in and out of that lineup in Green Bay. D-Cam year 2, he struggled last year. He was kind of thrown to the fire. Darnay Holmes, you know what I mean? And then Caillou Blue Kelly, once again, another unknown guy. So I have no issue with them. But once again, come on, y'all. Hey, football impact. Get your shit together, man. When the hell has Jamal Adams ever been a cornerback? I can see if you guys fumbled and put him in the safety spot.
Yeah.
I can understand that. But come on, having him at the corner, man, like what is the problem here? And then safety, Jeremy Chin, Isaiah Palomau, Tristan McCollum, Chris Smith, the 22nd. I have no issue with that, because once again, there's no all-pro, Pro Bowl guy in that room. We're hoping that Chin can be that dude to help that group. We're hoping that Isaiah Palomau can get unlocked this year as well. But I have no issue with it. But they have us 31st as a whole with the defense. So Graham, Pete Carroll, Rob Leonard and company, they definitely have their work cut out for them. If some of these media outlets out there believe that we can be one of the worst defenses in football. Once again, you guys, this is from a place called Pro Football Impacts. I'm not going to take this, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. Then offensively, they have us at 16th as a whole, which is kind of a middle of the pack offense, which I think we will be a top 10 offense. They didn't mention Chip Kelly. They had us as the 4th tight end. I don't agree with that. And then once again, that wide receiver group put us down the list a ton because they had us at 27th, which that will not be the case with the guy in Geno, who has 2 dudes that could take the top off of it. Well, 3 now with Amari Cooper, Dante Thornton, and Trey Tucker. So I have to disagree with the wide receiver. Anything that really stuck out to you over here?
No, I mean, just the wide receivers. And I agree with you. Top 10 offense for sure.
Yeah.
And, we're going to turn some heads this year, man. By mid-season, I got us at around like 5-2 or 6-2. So, that's when it's really people are going to be really looking at us like, hey, they got a much improved squad. So it's all good.
I love it. Real quick, you guys, we got 1,000 people in the building, man. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, man. Like the thumb, like my big bro, Big Mike Raider says. Also, hit that subscribe button on both channels. We are growing at an alarming rate over here at ShieldMore. We need you guys to keep us in the algorithm. Run those numbers up, man. We definitely have some new goals this season. So it's free. Hit the subscribe button. Also, man, hit that notification bell to keep us in the loop, to keep you guys in the loop of where we are. Because a lot of people, I hate it because people are like, damn, I didn't even know you were live. Hit that notification bell. It'll definitely
hit the bell, man. Come on.
When we go live. Salute to Hug, man. Close your eyes and picture this. 3rd quarter, 35. And we run an outside run as JPJ comes off the edge and completely lights out Spillane as Genty cuts the pile, stiff arms Gonzalez, and scores. Talk!
Hey, I like it.
Talk, Hug. Talk.
Hey, Hug is in mid-season form right now, man.
I love it, man. Salute to my brother. He's feeling himself because of that fantasy football shit.
Yeah, for real. You can tell.
Salute to 3 clicks. And the truth, if Genty gets off, Geno will have success with all his time. This is definitely that has to set the tone, the ground game, Big Mike.
That's why I said
has to get rolling because that opens up everything. Everything. So I agree with you. Let me see. Salute to Hussein, my guy, man. Thank God y'all are live. I'm driving back to Sac from Tracy. Appreciate that content. Salute to my guy, 916. I see you, man, driving through Tracy. Got to go through Stockton and Lodi and all that good stuff. Have a safe drive back to the crib out there, the 916. Real quick, get a couple more questions in, you guys. We're about to hit that hour mark. We're not going to be live for too long. We just kind of wanted to go over this game. Once again, we did talk about some of the new additions, you guys, at the beginning of the show. For those who are just joining, we did cut Trey Taylor, safety, former Air Force 7th round pick, and Matt Jones, linebacker, UDFA out of Baylor. And we picked up Jeff Driscoll, who I believe is on the 32-year-old vet quarterback, and we added him to the practice squad. So him and Cam Miller are both on the practice squad. And then we brought Brian Asamoah. I always butcher his name. Asamoah, the second linebacker, former third-round pick of the Minnesota Vikings and former Oklahoma standout at the linebacker position. So that is an interesting pickup. I'm definitely keeping an eye on that name right there. I want to see if he can be that dude that can definitely help us cover at the second level of our defense. It's going to be interesting to see, what they can do. I want to ask you your opinion on this, Mike. Why do you bring in a Jeff Driscoll? Like, you got Kenny Pickett, right? You have Cam that you're going to develop on the practice squad. We brought him back after we, waived him. I feel like if maybe Kenny Pickett, and once again, this is just me speculating. I said it on the show yesterday. Maybe that hamstring, he was dealing with a hamstring issue in Cleveland. That's why he didn't win that QB1 spot over Flacco. But do you think maybe this has something to do with Kenny Pickett, or do you think it has something to do with Cam Miller? Is it the hamstring thing, or is it just hey, we'd rather have a proven vet on a practice squad? If Cam's not ready to go, we'll throw him into the mix. Because I feel like this: if Geno and Kenny can't go, even if just Geno alone, if he's gone, we're losing a ton of ball games anyways. Yeah. I would rather prefer to have Cam Miller get thrown in the fire than put in a Jeff Driscoll, to which we already know what he can do at this point. He's 32 years old. He's on his 7th team. I would rather just see Cam Miller, throw him into the fire and see what he can do if, God forbid, something happened to our first two guys, Geno and Kenny Pickett. Why do you think we brought him in as that fourth quarterback, the second guy on the practice squad?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? You are worried about Kenny Pickett's hamstring, but you're also trying to protect Cam Miller, going out there and kind of stunting his growth. We saw that from a lot of rookies, particularly one that sticks out in my head that got out there and got absolutely mauled was David Carr when he was with the Texans. Bunch of sacks, and that really
lines in football ever.
Yeah, and we got a better old line, but it's an example of somebody going out there and just being shell shocked.
Yeah,
Cam Miller can go out there and just be completely shell shocked with the speed of the game. What's going on, the intricacies of defenses that he's never seen before. This is a guy that was at the 1AA level.
Yeah,
this is not a guy who was playing SEC ball week to week. Where he was seeing elite defenses and things like that. It would be a complete shock to have him out there. I agree with you. It would be nice to kind of develop him feet to fire, but we don't know what type of quarterback he is mentality-wise. That could really affect him. So throw in a Driscoll, a 32-year-old who's a journeyman. He's pretty much just out there being a crash test dummy anyway if things go wrong. So I would much rather have it that way.
And I like what Hug says. Seasoned vet quarterback on the practice squad. Big for scout team reps for the defense.
That too.
Salute to Hug. Love it, love it, love it. And AOC definitely shell-shocked after 3 years for sure. ITK, he's had to go through a ton his first few years in his young career. So definitely agree with you. Real quick, you guys. Also, I want to shout out my guy. I know I've been pumping this up for the past few weeks, but we are definitely starting next Monday. Monday, we have a new show, the Running Back Report with Jalen Richard, you guys. We're going to be doing a weekly show talking about the ground game, going over the offense. I want Jalen to break down what he's seen out of Genty, Raheem Mostert, Dylan, and Zeus. So this show will be starting next week. Stay tuned. I love that Jalen is getting into the gaming world and the podcast world. He hit me up. He said, yo, we got to lock in. I said, bro, say less. You know what we do over here at ShieldMore. We don't play any games. So expect a weekly show, the Running Back Report with Jalen Richard, to start next week. I hope you guys tap in. I'll be giving Jalen Richard's I'm going to actually connect his YouTube. I know he's starting a new one. So we'll be live from both platforms. If you guys can run those numbers up, let Jalen know we love him, we appreciate him, and let's get those numbers up and make sure that he's monetized quick, fast, and in a hurry. He's retired, you know what I mean? And he's getting involved in a ton of stuff outside of football, and you just love to see it, man. So once again, next week, I think Monday, we will be live with the Running Back Report with Jalen Richard. So salute to our brother and family of the show, Jalen, man. Appreciate you for getting involved in this space and for believing in me to help, push that out there, man. So salute to our guy. Let's get this $10 smackaroonie in, man, with Rube.
Yes, sir.
People are sleeping on Genty's impact in the passing game. He's an underrated route runner and dangerous in space. I could see him being a top 10 receiving back year one. This is facts, bro.
I can see him being a number 1 receiving back year one.
I liked it with Jahmyr Gibbs in the league and some of these other guys. Hey, and Bijan Robinson. Look, I can see a top 5, top 3. There are some other guys, but yes, I mean, just 2 years ago, he had 600 yards passing or receiving in Boise. So, and then he just became just a workhorse where he just ran the football over and over and over in Boise. I mean, they're missing him a ton right now, Mike. I know you've seen that game.
Yeah, right? Man. Yeah, they hurting now.
Yeah, nasty. But Rube, you are right. Definitely, he's going to be utilized in the passing game a ton. And you know what's funny, man? I don't even think that we have a running back 2, Mike. I think our running back 1 and 2 is Ashton Genty. Honestly, they like Zeus, they like Raheem Mostert, but I think that it's going to be very difficult to take Genty off the football field because of how much he can get involved in both the ground game and the passing game. So, what did they say early on? Pete was in his presser saying we're already trying to use him as a third down back. They weren't allowing him off the football field. Yeah. So,
hey, 30 touches for our guy. That's 20 carries a game, 10 catches. Hey, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Facts, man. Salute to Lord Buddy Bear. Remember that? I was there. I was at that game. I was literally, me and my wife drove from Atlanta out to New Orleans week 1 and watched that game, the 2-point conversion with Crab in the end zone. I was very afraid that New Orleans was going to make that 65-yard field goal as time expired. I was very nervous. Del Rio, man, you crazy motherfucker, man. Del Rio, I miss him, man. I ain't gonna lie. He has some really good games there in 2016, and then they just shit the bed after that. But
I was on my way back home from deployment, heading back to San Diego on the ship. Only Raider fan on board watching that game. Rowdy as a motherfucker, bro. Hey man, it was great, man. One of my favorite games. Man.
That was definitely one of me and my wife's probably dopest games that we ever been to. And we've been to some nice ones, like the Kansas City and Oakland game as time expired, play after play after play. When we won that game, we've been we've been all over the place. So that look at the Bam Bam Bigelow of Raider Nation in the building. Came down Raider. He said, Nation, I'm here. Bray Wyatt voice. Salute to our guy.
Came out of the cave
in the building, Mr. Bam Bam Bigelow himself. Hug says, if you're a Raiders fan and aren't a member of this channel, in the words of your daddy, you are effing up, bud.
Hey, you're effing up, bud.
You know what, Hug? I love that you mentioned that, because if you guys want to become a member of both channels, hit the links. They're pinned up top. Once again, it helps us keep the lights on over here at ShieldMore. I know Big Mike is trying to get closer and closer to being able to do this full time. So that kind of love and support definitely allows him to step away from his very well paid job to come do this full time. And
gotta make it worth my while, though. For sure.
It's gonna take some time, but we're gonna get there.
Oh yeah. But I will say this: if you aren't a member, man, I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed.
And that's worse. As a parent, you know that. That. So man. Salute to everybody here in the building. Anything else, man? You want to chop it up with? You know what? Let me say this.
Yeah.
Give me some predictions real quick on the way out. Score, final score.
Yeah.
I want to know, what does Geno do and what does Genty do, and who is our leading receiver in this game?
Okay. So I think our leading receiver is going to be Brock Bowers. I think it's going to be evenly distribute.
Agreed.
He's going to distribute the ball evenly. Geno Smith has about 230, 240 passing yards, couple touchdowns.
Okay.
Final drive win for Geno Smith. We win this game 23-17.
Fucking love it. I love it. Everybody in the comment section, real quick, give your final prediction. Ron Justice, 35-17.
Hey, let's do it.
Yim says 27-21.
Yep.
One Life, 28-14. A ton of Raider wins. I'm here for this. I'm here for this.
Yep.
Kane says Geno, 22 for 34. Very specific. 215, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. That's what you want to see.
That's a lot of completions for that many little yards.
I know, right? And then how do we where does that factor in the running game? Because it looks like we're throwing the football at time. Yeah, Kane, what is he averaging? One fucking yard per throw?
Like what? That's Kane, less than 10 completion.
Kane, you're rusty, man. You got to get back on screen and get back on your shit, Kane Town. But yeah, he said he's going to throw like 2 yards per reception.
I'm with you if you said 245 on that one. I'm with you on that.
42-7. Banker says we about to blow him out. Okay. Junkie says 21-17. So he's in that Big Mike range right there. Cane Town, 26 carries. Damn, bro. So how many times we had the goddamn ball? 26 carries, 112. Okay, all right. Solomon says 34-13. Okay. I'm here for it. Graf, you think Thornton Jr. is going to see action? Oh, he's going to see a ton. Yeah. He's going to see a ton. He'll be out there. Oh, Kane says a lot of check downs. Damn. Oof. So he going to be on his DC shit.
Man, I don't see it under Chip Kelly, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and Ben, he's not checking down. He's going to go out there and launch shit. So, facts. But other than that, you guys, I'll be live tomorrow. AFC West show. Me, Darcy, and Ben breaking down everything AFC West. We're going to go over all 4 games in the division. Graf and Wasted and Graf show Friday. Me and Hammer covering the game on Sunday. And I have another show probably in the middle of all those as well. Big Mike, what you got going on over there on the platform, bro?
Man, season not season preview, but game preview tomorrow. So I'll be on probably around 6:30. So catch me on that one. We're gonna get a little bit deeper than what we did here.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about.
I wanted to leave some meat on the bone per se.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just get around certain things, and so we can still, cook up for this week. So I love that. Yeah. I love it.
So you catch me tomorrow 6:30, y'all.
There you go. Salute to my Dizzy with that content. Salute to my guy Dizzy in the build. What'd you say, son? Yeah. Salute to my boy. Other than that, man, we love and appreciate every single one of you guys. On the way out, wipe them feet, like the thumbs, and hit that subscribe button on both channels. And once again, if you guys want to become members, hit the links. They're pinned up top. Other than that, love and appreciate you guys. We will be back all week long to cover this game. We're going to break this shit down to molecules by the time Sunday comes around. So stay tuned. We are out. One.